about technological factors, still looking at PEST factors. So I'm going to say part one of technological factors. We're not going to cover the whole topic today. It's a slightly bigger area of PEST factors and both social and political ones, so it deserves more than one lesson. So today's going to be, it's not like I'm going to split it into section one and section two. I'm just going to talk about the sort of more obvious parts of it today, and then we'll look a little bit more in depth in September. So what I'm going to do first of all is think of three industries or businesses that no longer exist because of the advancement of technology. Think of three jobs that no longer exist because of the advancement of technology. And think of three industries or businesses that are in decline because of technology. Okay, so these are the sort of, you can look at them as negative aspects if you deem it that way, but you can also look at it as positive because perhaps these jobs we didn't really want to do, and now it frees us up to do other jobs. So anyway, pause the video now, see what you can come up with, and then unpause it and I'll give you an example of what you could have said. Okay, so my examples, I've just come up with one for each. I'm sure you can come up with a bunch of others. So a business doesn't exist anymore, Blockbusters. And if you think about why, it's because people now have Netflix. Technology has made getting your entertainment more convenient than going to a video rental shop. So Blockbusters is my example of a business that doesn't exist. Candlestick maker. So that's for a couple of reasons. They're not really going to be made by hand anymore, so it will be a machine that makes it. And also candles are not used anywhere near as much anymore because we have electric light, and even if there's a power cut, you've got torches built into every phone now. So I'm sure that apart from a few sort of ornamental candles or sort of candles for sort of style or ambience, they're not really going to be around anymore, and certainly not going to find anyone whose profession is candlestick maker. And an industry that's in decline is newspapers, because the whole point of a newspaper is it gets you news quickly, and the internet has made it not only much quicker to get the news, but also much cheaper. You can just find everything for free on the internet, and so buying a newspaper has sort of started to become obsolete, and there's fewer and fewer of them around. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing we'll look at is automation. So this is robots doing basic or repetitive tasks that humans used to do. There's a more sort of thorough definition of it in your notes, but I feel that this is sort of boiling it down to its sort of essence. And some examples of this is cashiers at the supermarket. If you think about it, there are still sort of cashiers at the supermarket, but there are fewer of them because of self-service checkouts and also scan and go technology, where you scan as you go around and then you just put the handset back in the thing and you pay your money and you go. It's streamlining the whole process. It's instead of 10 cashiers working on 10 different tills, serving 10 different customers at a time, now you can have one overseeing a whole bank of self-service checkouts, and you can process things a lot quicker and get a lot more customers. Bank tellers. If you go to a bank, there's now going to be one person that will help out people if they don't know how to use the automatic banking machines, and maybe there's one or two people who will be at the desk as a bank teller, but there are fewer of them, and obviously it makes things a bit quicker and saves on money and paying staff. Meter readers for gas and electric. It used to be that someone would come around your house every few months and read your meter, and now they will either have a smart meter which can tell you exactly how much gas or electric you've used, or you'll just get an email saying, "Can you please send a meter reading?" And it's just it's made that job sort of obsolete. This automation has meant that a robot can do the whole sort of country just as quickly as sort of one man could do sort of a town. Organising the warehouse. Think about the little sort of robot forklift trucks in Amazon warehouses. There's no longer going to be people moving boxes back and forth, putting them in the right spots. It's all sort of automated in there, and that way, it's going to be quicker, more accurate, and also cheaper because you don't have to pay these robots. But there are advantages and disadvantages to automation. So advantages are lower employee costs. You've not just got to not pay the robots, but the one person looking after 10 robots, you just need to pay that one person. And it's not just less wages, but it is benefits and sick pay and pensions and things like that. So it's a lot cheaper. Productivity. So most of these robots are more productive. They don't dawdle. They don't take breaks, and they're going to generally be faster than a human. Increased quality and repeatability, which means that they're going to be more consistent. They're not going to get tired or distracted at the end of a shift and make mistakes. Increased safety. So a human working a machine is going to occasionally, catch their fingers in it, whatever you're going to do, and make a mistake. Sort of a bunch of different forklifts in a warehouse, something could crash or fall or hurt somebody. But if there's robots doing it all, they're going to be safer. And if something does go wrong, it's just sort of a robot, not a human's going to get hurt. Less management time spent on disputes and negotiations. A robot's not going to be complaining about sort of anything really. It's just going to be doing its job, and sort of frees up that sort of management time on that. Disadvantages: environmental impact. So all of these things are, more machines means a lot more sort of in terms of fuel used, whether that's electricity or petrol or diesel or whatever, but more fuel used has got a greater environmental impact because that energy's got to be created somehow. Social costs. So, if you're one person in charge of 10 robots, you're a bit isolated, a bit on your own. There's no sort of social aspect to your job anymore because you might not work or see another human, whereas before, cashiers on the till might be talking to each other between customers and that sort of thing. Cost of investment. So all these robots are not cheap. So there's going to be a big initial outset of cost for getting the robots in there and that sort of thing. There's less flexibility, which means that if a robot is programmed to do one thing, it'll do that one thing. And whereas a human, you could say, okay, can we do this slightly different thing? It can adapt. A robot would be a little bit less flexible. If you think about those big car building robots, they are going to be very inflexible. It can't just do something different than what it's been programmed to do. Okay. CAD and CAM. What do they stand for? What do they mean? You've got to recall Unit 2 because this is where this is from. It comes up again. I keep saying this, but Unit 4 is synoptic, which means that all the stuff from previous units is going to come up again, and you expect to know it, be familiar with it. So even though you're not doing your Unit 2 exam, you will still need to know all this stuff for Unit 4. So pause it now if you want to have a think about what it means, but otherwise I'll tell you. So CAD is computer-aided design, and CAM is computer-aided manufacture or modeling. And it's basically computer-aided design is rather than sort of an architect drawing up plans for something and then being told you have to change them and then going back and having to redo a bunch of things, taking a lot of time. Things can be tweaked and modeled a lot easier on a computer. Sort of modeling things could be, will this be strong enough? You can sort of stress test things virtually using the computer rather than having to actually build something and then actually see what happens when you put that level of stress on it. So it's going to sort of make things more flexible, more thorough, cheaper, and quicker in all those different ways. If you want to look into that more, then look at the notes and also look back in your unit 2. And also, one of the video clips is going to be talking about that. Okay, so next thing, think about 3 ways that technology can save businesses money, and think about 3 ways that technology can speed up different aspects of business. So pause the video now if you want to have a think about that, and then unpause it when you're ready for a few possible answers. Okay, so technology can save you your business money. So I've just used a few random examples, but there's lots more out there. So you don't have to pay your car making robot, which means that it's going to save you money in the long run. It's got the initial cost to begin with, but because you don't have to pay it, you're going to recoup those costs that you will be paying for workers. Online stores save you on rent because you do not need a sort of expensive location with lots of space in the city center. You can just have sort of an office building somewhere cheaper, and you're going to need a lot less office space for somebody who's creating that website, so it's going to save you on rent. And modern trucks are more fuel efficient, which means that you're going to save money on fuel if your business involves transport. A lot of businesses do involve transport, and obviously if you've got a lot of trucks doing a lot of miles every day, a little increase in efficiency is going to save you a lot of money. Another way is it can speed things up. Your car making robots quicker. It's going to be quicker than a human making cars by a long way. You get more cars to sell and have less people to pay, so it's quicker and cheaper. Online stores can process sales at a higher volume and more quickly than bricks and mortar stores. So, if this new Harry Potter book comes out and everybody wants it, a website, it can process hundreds of sales per second of people ordering it. Just think about how long it would take a bookstore to actually sell that number of books with everybody queuing up. Even if every single person wants that book, it's going to be a lot longer. And so that's going to speed up your book sale business quite a lot, for that example. And it's just a little example here, but if your modern truck's more fuel efficient, you're going to have to stop to refuel fewer times. And it might only save 5-10 minutes out of a day, but if you've got lots of trucks doing lots of different trips, it is going to save a lot of time in the long run. There's other ways, this sort of thing mentioned in the notes, so if you have a look there for some further examples. And we'll carry on. There's more to technology. I've put some video clips that I think highlight some of these points or are interesting to watch. So if you have a look at those, we will continue this next time.